Over the next few minutes, we're going to show you how to create an indicator template that could save a custom template, rather than a custom indicator that you want to make, and then you can retrieve it at any point in the future. Before we get involved in that, though, bear in mind that trading has its risks, and all information in this webinar is provided for the educational purposes only, and is not an offer of a recommendation to trade futures, stocks, options, or Forex. So let's jump right in here. We've got a blank chart, and what we're going to do is we're going to customize an indicator. So let's go into our indicator list, and let's go down to the MACD right here. And you can see that we've got the default settings here, which we'll leave as is for the moment. And we've got it showing on bar close, and you might want to have this a little more responsive, so you could set this to on price change. Keep in mind that anything other than on bar close on indicators will draw more resources on your computer, especially on tick, although I do use that on a lot of my indicators. But a good compromise might be on price change. And let's say that we're on a white background chart, so let's make the zero line black. And maybe I'll just make that a dash. And the MACD itself, let's make that, let's go with a darker blue. And I'll keep it solid and just a single width in the line itself. And the average will keep red, and that's also solid and one. Maybe just for a further differentiating from the MACD line itself, we'll make that dash. And then the difference, that would be the histogram. Let's make that a little less in your face color, so to speak. Let's make that dim gray. And I'm going to come back once we do this, and I'm going to show you what this little box is for. But first I'll just go ahead and hit apply. Let me move this off to the side. And you can see that now we have a modified MACD with our colors that we chose. And notice that the histogram is in the background, very narrow bars. So if you want those to be equal in size to the price bars themselves, just go ahead and click on this little box right there. And let me bring this all the way over so you can see it. I'm just simply clicking that bar right there. And if I hit apply, watch what happens to the histogram. See how they've now become the same size of whatever the price bars would be. So if you make these wider, these histogram will become wider, and vice versa. And let's see, what else do we have? Now you've got your nomenclature for the indicator up here. You may want to try to remove that. You can go up to the label itself and just erase that, and watch down here when I hit apply. See, it disappears. So that cleans that up a little bit. Now, how do we save this? What if we want to come back tomorrow and we create a new blank chart and we want to have the same look and feel as far as the indicator? Well, we'll come down to the template, and it'll say save. And if we want to make this the default, we can just hit save as default, and then you're all set to go. But you may want to keep the default for some reason. So let's just say we'll rename this, for the sake of this video tutorial, we'll just call it test, and we'll say save. Now, if we were to remove this MACD, now if we come back and we go up to our indicators, we go back to MACD once more, double click, throws it in there, and if we hit apply, you can see that we have what would be the default MACD, but we're going to go and load our test MACD, and then hit apply, and there you are. So now you have your custom built MACD indicator, and while this is a custom template for the indicator itself, you might also want to go ahead and build a template for this chart. So we go in, we right click on the chart itself, right click, come down to templates, and then say save as. And let's say we're going to save this, I'm going to call this also test 2. Test 2. And now we've saved this chart. So if we were to open a new chart, and I'll demonstrate that here by hitting new and chart. And I'll bring this over here. And we were using the ES, so we'll stay on the ES. We'll make it a 3-minute, whoops, not 33 minutes, 3-minute. And we will get rid of the text and price markers because they clutter up everything. So if I hit OK, here's the chart that we would get, a default chart, but we want to install the custom template, which was test 2, I believe, right there. Select it, hit load, and there we're back. Now we have our saved template for the chart and also saved template for the indicator. Now there's a little strange quirk about saving templates, and let me demonstrate that. Let me go into the indicators again, and we're going to go into the same MACD, and I'm going to say save. Now you notice that we saved our indicator as test. Our custom indicator is test. If we were to load just the default, it gives us the default MACD. But if you were to say, oh, I think I'm going to call this new indicator, custom indicator, default with a small letter D, that would not load automatically. However, if you created a custom indicator template and you named it capital D for some reason and saved it, that would become your default. So just by virtue of calling a template default with a capital D will make it the default. So if you're going to find yourself using the word default and you don't want it to be a default, use a small d. So I know it's kind of arcane and kind of an odd bit of programming knowledge, but it just might save you some frustrations in the future. So I think that's really all that is to be covered, with one exception. I'm going to put another added treat on here. I'm going to first choose the crosshairs because I like crosshairs. I can see both the X and Y axis this way. I'm going to go ahead and install an EMA. Let's go down to EMAs, double click, and we'll leave it the default. We're not going to do, except for the color. Maybe we'll change it to something darker so it shows better on the white screen. Now, I don't know whether you can see this or not, but the EMA is actually on top of the price candle. If you were to want to have the EMA behind the price candle, select the EMA line, hold the shift key down, and then with the wheel on your mouse, simply spin it. And you can see that you can just put it right behind whatever object might have been behind it before. So now we brought the price candle in front of the EMA. And that will work for all sorts of things. If you have, well, let's just see if we did a drawing item like this. And let's go with 100% opacity. All right. So now that's covering our price candles, right? Well, you might want to have that behind. So what I did is I simply selected the rectangle, held my shift key down, and then spun the mouse wheel, and you can spin it back and forth. So if I select that, and if I pull the wheel towards me, it pulled the item towards the front. If I spin the wheel away from me, it pushes it away from me and puts it behind these items right here. So if you found yourself frustrated because you had some objects that were on your chart and you couldn't see a price action very well, that's a way to eliminate that frustration. All right, well, we don't want to keep this too long, and I hope this adds to your arsenal of NinjaTrader expertise.